The lecture which follows is about the portable buildings, as they were called, which were imported to Australia during the 19th century. These are what we would today call prefabricated buildings, and they've played a very fascinating role in the history of Australia. These buildings came to Victoria in large numbers during the gold rushes of the 1850s because there was a huge demand for housing accommodation and almost no building industry to deal with it. But they also came in smaller numbers to all the Australian colonies during the whole of the 19th century for particular reasons. When there was a new settlement, such as Newcastle, for remote locations such as Broome, or when there were specialised building types such as lighthouses. All that makes them integral to Australian history, but their importance goes even beyond that. The timber buildings which were imported from Singapore are unknown in Singapore itself today. All the surviving examples of Singapore cottages in the world are those in Australia. Similarly, the only examples of the plate iron buildings which were made in Glasgow are in Australia. And all the buildings made in England, or nearly all of them, on the patented or the proprietary systems of Peter Thomson, Henry Manning, John Walker, E.T. Bellhouse, Samuel Hemming and Edwin Moore, all of those are in Australia. So the 100 or so portable buildings which now exist in Australia reflect Australian colonial history, they reflect general economic history, and they reflect the world history of technology. It's essential that they should be studied and preserved, and we believe they need to be inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage Register as a group.